So most people blindly walk through their lives unaware of the thing that's holding them back. They think it's bad luck, they think it's their environment, they think it's their genetics, they think it's their status or their power or their looks. But what they don't realize, the real obstacle is their own minds. And this is how to get over this, is how to understand your mind so you never have to mentally suffer again. Here's the hard truth. Most of your mental suffering comes from you just blindly following your thoughts. The problem is you don't realize how much damage these thoughts can do to your life. Most thoughts, most of your thinking is coming from the part of you that's afraid or avoiding danger or keeping you safe and avoiding new situation. Most of your thoughts are coming from this place. And then to top it off, most of these thoughts are coming from a place of just wanting to feel good in the moment, the instant gratification part of you, because it wants to keep you safe. It wants you to feel good now. The first step to actually breaking free from this cycle and to step outside of your thoughts and not identify with your thoughts is to not fight your thoughts, simply to understand them and to become aware of them and start noticing the patterns. When you're afraid, that's when you're reaching for the cookies and the alcohol and the distractions. Start noticing the pattern of when your thoughts try and take over because something stressful happened, and that when you find your emotions are driving you towards that instant gratification to make you feel good now. You have the power to step back and choose which thoughts deserve your attention. Most people make the mistake of just grabbing onto every thought that comes past and identifying with it. They believe that because they've got that thought, that means they need to indulge in it and think about it and stay in it and start getting emotional about that thought. So understand, you are not a slave to these thoughts. You can have power. You can choose which thoughts to indulge in and which ones to not indulge in. You are not at the mercy of thought. You can choose which thoughts to focus on and give attention to. And to understand the workings of your mind, like I said, different thoughts come from different parts of you. These parts are all trying to do different jobs. They've all got their own roles and they're all locked into different emotions. There's the angry part, the scared part, the jealous part, the horny part, the envious part, the part of you that criticizes you, the part of you that motivates you, the part of you that makes you feel lazy, doesn't want to do anything or face anybody, the introvert part. They all have their different roles. And it's to understand you, to understand the self, which is actually encompassing all of these parts, the real you, the authentic you, is to realize that none of this is really you. They are all parts of you conflicting with each other, trying to do a job. So the big source of suffering is where this conflict is coming from. It's the suffering from the conflict. And it's all of these parts that are fighting each other that's causing you to sabotage and feel like you're mentally stuck. The game changer, the new paradigm shift, the empowering way to look at this is to realize that you don't have to have this mental suffering. You can understand that all of these parts of you, these different voices, these different motivations, all have different agendas because they love you and they're trying to protect you. And they all had a different role in the past where they have tried to keep you out of danger. They've stopped you from being vulnerable, from being exposed, from being hurt, from being lonely, from being abandoned. The part of you that distracts you by doom scrolling, it just doesn't want you to feel alone. It doesn't want you to feel lonely. That's why it makes you go and do that. And it's such a nice paradigm and it's such an empowering thing to understand, because it's then when you can break the cycle. Only then, when you understand the mind like this, then you can break the pattern. So after this video, the journey starts. You now become the observer of your thoughts. This is the most powerful thing I've ever learned. I've realized that I've broken the cycle by really observing and acknowledging and giving those parts of me compassion, the parts of me that want to act out, the parts of me that want to reach for the sugar, the parts of me that want to reach for the alcohol and that don't feel like going out, or don't feel like going to speak to someone when I know I should, or speaking out, or doing something that's actually going to be beneficial for my health or my finances, saving money. All of these things, different parts of me all want to sabotage because they're afraid. They just want to keep me comfortable. So the power is in your hands. You have to take responsibility. You have to put your foot down. You have to choose the certain thoughts that come into your life and choose the ones that empower you, not the ones that are going to cause you self-doubt, limiting beliefs. You have to just spot them early, and it takes Practice, it's a habit, it's a skill, but you will get better at it. A pen, a paper, a journal really helps with this. 10 minutes of meditation a day really helps with this. Just check up on yourself. Notice where you're resisting. Notice the different parts of you that when you're stressed, when you're angry, when you're lonely, when you're tired, start to notice the pattern. Where does it kick in? What is it that you need to do to escape? Ask those parts that are protecting you. What is it you're trying to hide me from? And you'll start getting answers. And only then can you break the cycle. But it's down to you, and it's a lifelong journey. Don't be hard on yourself. You will make mistakes, but put your foot down and begin after this video to start actually taking control and choosing which thoughts you indulge in and which ones you don't.